have a ton of hash browns, like a ton, and kind of the whole first step before you do anything, at least with the way that I do it, because I've always done it this way, is here's kind of what they look like. I always thaw mine, get them thawed, because I feel like overall it's gonna create a better mixture whenever you're trying to make it. One of the first things that you do need, and I've seen people use different kinds of soups for this, but cream of I don't know if you can see it, cream of chicken is what we're gonna be using. So let's see, that that'll make it easier for you guys to see everything that I hold up. So there you got the cream of chicken, and then you can use kind of just whatever kind of cheese you want, but generally when I make mine I use cheddar cheese, so I just got, doesn't really matter what brand or anything like that. Get some cheddar cheese. Some recipes, some of these that I've seen people do don't call for sour cream. I do put sour cream in mine, so if you're not a fan of sour cream, then you can leave it out. You don't necessarily have to put it in there. I've already got a chopped onion in the part of I put half because I don't really like as much onion in mine, so I put half an onion in the food processor. You can just chop it if you don't have a food processor, of course. And then so the recipe does actually call for salt and pepper, but there's enough salt usually in your cheese, in your soup, that if you don't want to put extra salt in there, you don't have to, okay? But generally, you do want some pepper in there. So you want some black pepper. And then, of course, there's some butter. We use butter or margarine. So we've got, we've got some melted butter. As far as how much, generally, let's say if you were making about 2 pounds of these potatoes, okay? Yeah, exactly. PJ Salt in the chat. If you're making about 2 pounds of this, you'd probably want to use, I don't know, maybe one of those 10-ounce cans of soup. You'd probably want, I don't know, half of the onion, or that's generally standard what it is, but since I'm making so much, I'm going to just stick with half. Generally you would probably use a whole onion for what I'm using, since it's double the amount. You want a fourth a cup of margarine, and a fourth a cup is usually a half a stick, if you buy a stick. Kind of get as much out of it as you can. So you'll probably want a spoon or something to kind of scrape out the extra. How many of you guys have actually, I'm not really a big fan of cream of chicken by itself, but it tends to work really well for this recipe. I've seen people use cream of celery for it, but you don't have to. You don't necessarily have to go by, if you were to look up a recipe, what it says or anything like that. That just kind of gives you a general idea. That's kind of how I am most of the time. I kind of change things along the way, or change the amounts. It just kind of gives you a basis of what to go on. So kind of slop it in there. Creamy. So, as you can see, we've got the the cream of chicken soup in there. And for the amount that we're doing, you probably, you know, if you actually want it in there, if you don't mind it, that kind of thing, you're going to want to put a decent amount in there. So I am going to measure it out though. And just because I was using my cup, or like my cup measurement cup before, so I'm just using a half cup to do the measurements with this. So just double whatever it is. Alright, and like I said, it doesn't have to be accurate, like completely accurate half the time. A lot of cooking is kind of seeing what they tell you to do or what the recipe calls for, and then adjusting it to whatever your taste is. So did I destroy your eardrums? Was it as loud as when I screamed for the Shining last night? Oh, you're speaking up. If I had to pick my type would probably be like Samus. Strong female character. Watch as I just pour that butter. So now we're kind of getting like a saucy mixture going on here. You're gonna want to get those onions in. If you want onions, you don't have to put onions in there. It is not a requirement at all. I put half the amount because I don't really like them. I don't like it to be too overpowered by the onions. You know, there's plenty of other good things in there. So you don't, like I said, you don't need the onions. You can put the onions in if you like them. I put about half the amount. And then, you know, you want that cheese. You want that cheese. Like I said, I'm using cheddar. You don't have to use cheddar. You can use whatever kind of cheese you like. I've heard a lot of people say that it tastes better with Colby cheese. So there you go. And I've seen them do it different ways, like crumb it up and all the different ways. I got thicker, like a thicker cheese, because I feel like it doesn't ball up as much. So that's kind of what you want. So, you know, you just want to get that cheese in there and kind of just don't put the whole, I'm just putting the whole bag in because we're making a lot. So I'm just going to use this wooden spoon here. And then you kind of just mix it up. You know, you stir it up, kind of get it all together. You got that. As you can see, the sour cream in there again. Like, you don't have to put the sour cream in, you don't have to put the onions in. It's very much like you can put in what you want to put in, because if you don't get it mixed together like this, when you put the potatoes in, if you mix it together like that, then you're gonna mash up the potatoes. You don't want to mash the potatoes. You want them to still be hash browns. Okay, so you're gonna like lightly mix that in, you know. So you don't wanna mash those potatoes, because then it's not really gonna be Hashbrown Casserole anymore. So you gotta think about that. Wooden spoon here, and then you kind of just mix it up and you stir it up and get it all together. You got that. Look, it's our sauce. Look at our sauce. Look at it. We're gonna put some black pepper in there. I'm not gonna put in any extra salt because I feel like with the ingredients that I put in there, there's plenty of salt in mine. So kind of wanna get the potatoes in there. Yes, We're making many, like so much. It's funny that I'm making enough that I could feed the whole stream if I wanted to. You don't want to mash the potatoes. So you just kind of gotta be easy with it. I've seen people use their hands. I'd probably have to wash my hands again before I did that, but I don't really want to, just because I'm afraid that I'll squeeze the potatoes, but I don't know, you're just kind of mixing it all together. You don't necessarily want to like mix it and mash it. You kind of want it to sit together, but you do want it to kind of evenly be throughout the entire thing, which when you have like it turns into like chunks of potatoes like that, it's kind of hard to do that without smushing it. But right, so this is where we find out if this pan is big enough or if I'm gonna have to put it in a couple
Sonic speed
ones. Oh. So I've had my oven preheated to 350 degrees. And you want to kind of cook it like anywhere in between kind of like 40-50 minute range. There you have it. Kind of get a look right there. Idea you can see on top. I'll bring it a little bit closer. You can see on top the pepper. You can see the soup that's mixed in. I wanted to get around the edges. I wanted to get kind of a nice kind of, you can kind of see around the edges there. Remember, it's got a nice gold color to it too. You can see all the cheese, all different stuff in there. So it's looking good. It's smelling really good. The whole kitchen smells great. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited to eat this. But it's so you know, the other thing I would recommend is it's so hot that you do need to let it cool. Yeah, looks great. This could feed an army. Could probably feed all of you guys if you're here. Thanks for watching me cook the Hashbrown Casserole. And like I said, you can do it a bunch of different ways. You know, if you guys have a different way of cooking it, and you're watching this video, then let me know in the comments how you make it.